we know that for really as long as humans have existed, they've had to employ these skills in order to be able to survive and to thrive. So I don't think they are new, and I think that then has implications for how we teach them, because it suggests that perhaps we don't have to radically transform things in the way that people might suggest. We might have to change things, but perhaps the level of transformation won't be as great as people think. And it also means, as I say, that we should look at what has happened in the past to give us some ideas about how we might teach these skills. I think if there's one thing that is new, it's that it's probably harder to get by without these skills. Whereas perhaps in the past, whilst we needed these skills, it was possible for individuals to get by without them or without great expertise in them. How should we teach such skills? So, that's what I'll look at now. So I'm going to put forward, first of all, a model of teaching these skills, which I would say is quite popular. It's quite a dominant model, and it's the model that many of the people with those quotations I showed you earlier, many of those people, not all of them, but many of those would endorse. So this is the first model I'm going to present. That we should set up education and the curriculum around them. So we should almost set up lessons in schools and indeed in universities to be teaching creativity, to be teaching critical thinking, to be teaching collaboration. And allied to that, therefore, that we would set up projects with the aim of developing such critical thinking and collaborative skills. Then, thirdly, we might want to embrace multitasking. It's moving, it's the way often that young people seem instinctively wired almost to learn in that way, that they've grown up with lots of different devices and seem to have a facility to be able to switch attention between different tasks. So we should embrace that. Again, that's the way the world is going. And then, as well as that, we shouldn't do that for two reasons. First of all, knowledge is changing so quickly that actually, how do you know what to teach? And secondly, it's so easy to find knowledge now. Perhaps 100 years ago, when it was much more expensive and difficult to get access to knowledge, there was a point in organising schools around that. But nowadays, when everything's on the click of a mouse on Google, what is the point of that? So instead of teaching pupils the what, we should teach them the how. We should teach them how to research using Google, etc. So I think this is quite a dominant model, and this is often people who talk about the importance of 21st century skills implicitly go on to recommend such methods of education. But I'm actually going to say that when we look at a lot of the research about how we think and how we learn, that actually there's a different model to this one that actually has quite a bit more research backing. So I'm going to put forward that model now, briefly, and then I will take each point in turn.